Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, come on in. The Bible Bistro's open. You found Daily Dose Radio. It's what we like to call the Bible Bistro. And let me just tell you a little bit about the Bistro. Here at the Bible Bistro, we don't use any MSG. There are no GMOs, and it's all gluten-free. So this is good for you. Lots of fiber, lots of vitamins and minerals, so you can just trust it. It's good. It's all 100% Bible. And today, for your consumption, we have Psalm 32 verses 5 and 6. Yesterday we came to the first Selah, so we had to take a break. Verses 1 through 4 comprise the first section of Psalm 32. And then we have the Selah. Selah means to take a break, to pause. It could be a musical interlude. There's some instrumental piece that's played here, or perhaps there's a choral response, some sort of choral response that takes place. I'd just like to think, since we're reading this, that perhaps David meant for us to meditate with the Selah. Just stop, take a break, and think about what you've just read. Roll it over in your mind. Think about the words. Think about the intentions. Think about all the good that's just been said in these 4 verses. So Selah means break. After the break, we come to verses 5 and 6. Now, I'm going to plow through another Selah here, so please forgive me, because we're going to go from 5 to 6, and there's a Selah that divides verses 5 and 6. Let me read those for you. I will cause you to know my sin, and my iniquity I will not cover. I said, I will confess about me, my transgressions to the Lord. And you, even you, forgave the iniquity of my sin. Selah. Concerning this, will all the saints pray to you during a time of sure finding. A flood of great waters will not reach him. Okay, that's verses 5 and 6. And you'll notice that after verses 3 and 4, the bones wearing out and the juice being turned into the fever heat of summer, the hand of the Lord heavy upon the man who was silent. So now he's breaking his silence. He's had a fast of silence, and it wasn't a good fast of silence. This is a silence that he should never have engaged in. You know, there's sometimes when you need to talk, you need to speak, and this is one of those cases. When there's sin that needs to be confessed, this is not time to keep your mouth shut. You need to go to your closet, get on your face, and confess that sin, your transgression, your sin, your iniquity. And notice what he says. I will cause you to know my sin. I will make it known. That's the idea behind that Hebrew verb there. I'm going to cause knowledge for you. That is, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to report. That's another way. I kind of wrestled with translating it that way. I will report my sin. I will cause you to know my sin. And my iniquity I will not cover. Now, that word cover, in some translations, is going to be hide. I like cover better because it's the same word that's used in verse 1, whose sin is covered. Now, the Lord does a covering work there, but notice here, the psalmist says, I'm not going to cover up or hide my iniquity. So there's no covering on my part. There is a covering on God's part. Let's let him do the covering, and we'll just make sure that we uncover all of our sin to him. We're opening our heart, laying back the sheets so that he can see the whole dirty mess. I said, and here's the psalmist's voice, I will confess about me, my transgressions to the Lord. Sometimes, you know what? We're real good about confessing somebody else's transgressions to the Lord, but not our own. Well, now the psalmist says, I am going to confess my transgressions to the Lord. See, I'm done with the bones wearing out. I'm done with the fever heat of summer. I'm going to confess. And you, even you, forgave the iniquity of my sin. The iniquity of my sin. That, boy, sticks out to me so much. The iniquity of my sin. It's not just iniquity, and it's not just sin. It's the iniquity of sin, and it's mine. So there's something about that iniquity that bends the metal, that colors the sheet. It's something about that iniquity has an effect on life. And so it's not just the sin, but it's the result of that sin. God forgives that, ladies and gentlemen. Selah. Concerning this, will all the saints pray to you? See, this is for everybody. This is for every person who trusts the Lord. Don't keep your mouth shut. Go pray. Confess. Tell him about your transgressions. Don't tell him about somebody else's. Deal with yours first. Concerning this, will all the saints pray to you during a time of sure finding? Most translations are going to have when you may be found. That's really a good translation. I just tried to make mine a little more wooden so we could see the difference. A flood of great waters will not reach him. Why? Because he's confessed. You see, the flood was coming, the bones were wearing out, the juice was drying up, but what happened? He confessed. In a time of sure finding, all the saints will do this. Thank God. All right, join me tomorrow. We'll look at verses 7 and 8, and we're going to blow through another Selah here in verses 7 and 8. So I'll see you then on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.